Hello, I'm Chris Gay. I'm a Connecticut writer. I'm here with my great aunt Genevieve. Aunt Jean, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Excellent. What we're going to do today is, and Aunt Jean and I have talked about history many times over the years, and we thought it'd be nice to do a multi-episode video about her talking in her own words about things from the early 20th century. So we'll start with your dad, Aunt Jean. Now, my great-grandfather, your father, was born in Kaunas, Lithuania in 1875, a couple days ago. On July 26th, he would have celebrated his 120th birthday. And could you tell us a little bit about him coming over here from Kaunas?
Certainly.
Thank you.
He came over here after having had the equivalent of 2 years of college in the Russian schools, because at that point in time they were under Russian rule and they had to not be able to use their own language at all. And so consequently, everybody had to use Russian rules, Russian literature, etc. And they weren't free to do any of their own language.
And so he decided at some point when he was younger in his teens to come to the United States.
Right.
And so he left Lithuania and he came over by boat and ended in...
Then he went to Ellis Island. Then he went to Erie, Pennsylvania.
So like many people, he was part of those waves of early immigrants who came through Ellis Island. And then he went to Erie, Pennsylvania on the Great Lakes. And you were telling me about a story about him going to see a friend of his?
Yes, and this had happened to just about all the immigrants. If they didn't have a relative, they actually found out if they knew somebody, because then they could inform them about the ways of the culture, etc.
So he ended up going into the military soon after coming to Erie, and he actually went right back across the Atlantic Ocean to fight for the United States, and back actually where he came from. And you were saying that he was in the trenches in France.
Yes, and he was gassed, as so many of them were, and he was in Germany. And when he was in Germany, he found out that his father had passed away, and he tried to get permission to go to the funeral, and they didn't allow him to do that.
So he ended up not being able to go to his father's funeral.
That's right. And in those areas, the actual mileage is so much different than it is here. It's not, like going from here to the Pacific Ocean or whatever.
Everything's very much more condensed in Europe, country-wise.
Yes.
So he came back here, and then he went to, when he came back to the United States, he went to...
Scranton, Pennsylvania, and he went to work in the mines, the anthracite mines. And then he met my mother.
My great-grandmother, a wonderful woman.
And they were married. And then I came along.
Well, and Aunt Jean, what we'll do now is we'll wrap this episode up, and we're going to pick this right up in episode 2. So I want to thank you very much for this, and we'll continue this story in just a few more minutes.
You're welcome.
Thank you, and we'll be back in episode 2.